Lizard Wizard at number 10, Clutch, and their new one, Sunrise on Slaughter Beach. Now, I'm a big fan of Clutch throughout their older stuff. I mean, I've been a fan since Passive Restraints, people. It's like that. So I've got a lot of their CDs. My favorite stuff is the weirder stuff, like Escape from the Prison Planet. That's probably one of my favorite Clutch songs, if not my favorite. But this one probably would have been higher. I mean, I like Clutch. I like what their crunchy guitar sound. I like the vocalist and everything. But they really kind of kept it middle of the road for them on this one, I thought. They didn't go way out with the themes and they didn't get really adventurous. It's kind of like mid-level, just kind of rocking out. And so I was expecting a little more. I just like the Radiohead, the bar was really high, and then it was like, oh, this is pretty good. I like this. This is okay. But I was hoping for a little more extremes. I was hoping for that old style, let's just be out there. And they really kind of reeled it in and just kind of played it pretty safe on this one, I thought. So it was good enough, obviously, to get to number 10. Big Clutch fan, but Sunrise on Slaughter Beach, it's a solid 10, number 10 for me on the top of your favorites of 2022. A band I've been very familiar with, like King Gizzard and Lizard, but I actually have some of their vinyl. It is Ghost, and their latest is Impera, like the Orville Peck. They've got their gimmick. They've got the changing priest at the front, and I think that's great. I think that they have their own atmosphere. Really, it's Tobias Forge is the guy behind all of this. It's not really a band, but they do have different people, and Impera is their latest. I was really looking forward to this because I love these two and some of their other stuff as well. But this one just kind of sounds like the same thing again, but not as good. It kind of sounds like B-sides, maybe like from this one or this one. It's the same thing. So I was looking forward to maybe them taking it to another level or doing something a little bit different. It's great. That's why it's at number 9. But I was expecting something more adventurous, hoping, I guess, for something more adventurous. And I got kind of more of the same, which is great. But, and a lot of people have this on their top album of the year. I mean, like 5 people said this was the best album of the year. And again, that's what I'm doing, is doing everybody's favorites that they put. I know people skip around on videos. I'm just reminding you that these are people's favorites that answered my question on Instagram. And by the way, I did find out what a wheelhouse was. A wheelhouse is a small room on a boat where the steering wheel is, the big wheel. It's encased in a little room. That's a wheelhouse. So none of these would be in my wheelhouse because I wouldn't keep records in a little thing on a boat. Can you imagine a record player on a boat like that? So yeah, that's what a wheelhouse is. Found that out. Learn something new every day. Moving on to number 8, Black Midi with Hellfire. These guys. Wow, what a trip to hell and back, I guess. This is, I got to look at the pretty vinyl here. I love the color vinyl. That's another thing. I got to have the color vinyl for new releases. Or I won't get it. I won't get black vinyl for new releases. I've got so much black vinyl. I got 50 years of that. I don't need more black vinyl. I need some color vinyl. I need my turntable looking pretty every once in a while. Black Midi provides that. I love that everybody's coming out with color vinyl for their new release. I know some people really frown on that and say it's gimmicky and it doesn't matter. It matters to me. It matters to me like, it's part of the aesthetic of watching the record go around. It's nice and pretty there. But Black Midi, man, this is just craziness. This is, but I love it. And a lot of characters in here, a lot of, it sounds like a screaming preacher, street preacher on crack or something, but in a good way. But yeah, a lot of intensity here, a lot of strange like time signatures. This is not like your straightforward like Ghost thing where it's basically hard rock to a disco beat. Which, by the way, I don't understand why people call Ghost metal. It's not metal at all. I mean, I'm not saying it's not. It's great, but it's not metal. This is definitely harder rock. It's not for everybody, but I liked it. It's Black Midi and Hellfire. Just insanity on red vinyl there, as insanity should be. Coming in at number 7, though, we have King Buffalo with Regenerator. These guys from Rochester, New York, and it's kind of the opposite of the Black Midi. These guys are straightforward rock, but it's great. Great guitar riffs, great grooves on this. It sounds a little retro, but that's fine. Last couple of tracks sound almost like the same song twice, but that's fine. It's a great song. So you want to hear it again? But yeah, King Buffalo, Regenerator, they've just got the rock groove. They don't sound like they're trying to reinvent the wheel or anything. Great grooves, very catchy, very, the kind of thing where you hear it, you want to hear it again. It's not going to blow you away with like, oh my God, this is wild and crazy. But again, they sound like a band that's been around for a while. I'm not as familiar with these guys. I don't know how long they've been around, but I will eventually probably get the vinyl album of King Buffalo and Regenerator. Got to get the color vinyl. That's how it works. At number 6, we've got the Rolling Blackouts Coastal Fever, or just Rolling Blackouts CF, however you want to. Sometimes they're referred to as different things. Endless Room is this album. These guys from Melbourne, so another Australian group. And again, with the color vinyl here, I got the Loser vinyl. It's what it's called from Sub Pop. Their color vinyl first issues are always called the Loser edition. I'm not sure what that's all. I guess I'm a loser because I like this. But this is not the kind of music I usually like. It's that jangle pop stuff, which I don't, jangle rock or whatever, jingle bells. But I do like this because this is done really, really well. And the guy's vocals, I guess it's one guy or two guys singing in unison. I don't know if it's production of one vocal or what, but it sounds great. Does sound a bit similar all the way through. That's the only drawback, but it's a great sound. And if you do like the jangle rock stuff, you're going to love this. If you don't, this might change your mind like it did mine. Love this cover art too. I love the blue sky here with the interior showing there and all of that. I wish more artists would concentrate on their cover art. We're in a vinyl record age again, where we're back to 12-inch artwork. And I don't like it when bands, like, what was the one, the Arctic Monkeys, where it's a car on a rooftop and it's just like a picture. I like it when there's a design, some thought look like it went into it. It's not like ironic nothingness. I get minimalism like the Beatles' White Album or the Metallica's Black Album cover, but I love the way that we're paying more attention. This is not just a booklet inside a CD anymore. 12-inch album artwork. Again, like color vinyl, it's not important to some people. It's important to me, and I love when a little bit more effort is put into that. So, nice going, Rolling Blackouts Coastal Fever. Coming in at number 5 is a White Buffalo with Year of the Dark Horse. Now, this guy's name is Jake Smith. It's basically one guy. He calls himself the White Buffalo, and it's not a dark horse or a white buffalo on the cover. It's a white horse. So kind of mixing the two things together, I guess. But this guy's got experience doing soundtracks for TV shows like Sons of Anarchy. He's scored a Walmart commercial. So he's the real deal. But this guy's got a nice, rich baritone voice, which really sells it. And it doesn't sound kind of forced, like I said, the Orville Peck did. This guy's voice sounds a lot more natural. Great music to this. This guy sounds real. Like I said, he does soundtracks for TV shows and stuff like that. I'm assuming when they play his music, it's for a very serious, pensive kind of character, because that's the way he comes off. But at the same time, comes off as kind of fun. It's kind of a wild kind of tightrope that he balances there with that. It's really interesting. And that's why it's all the way up at number 5. The White Buffalo. Again, Jake Smith is his real name. He's from Oregon. And really enjoyed this. I'd never heard of him, didn't know what to expect. Doesn't really have a lot of, don't know a lot of background. Artwork is a horse, so you don't know what to expect. But really like this. Very personal lyrics, sometimes a little too personal. Like in that one song, She Knows I Lie, or what? She Doesn't Know I Lie. There's one line in there that's like, oh, whoa, dude. Reel that in, man. And if you heard it, you know what line I'm talking about. White Buffalo and A Year of the Dark Horse. Great album, very earnest, kind of a country sound. Coming in at number 5. At number 4, Tears for Fears and The Tipping Point. Now, these guys are back. And, the first song doesn't really sound like Tears for Fears. If you put the first song on, I wouldn't be able to tell you who it was. You start recognizing them as the tracks go on. Okay, I get their voices now. But they do not sound like some retro band trying to cash in on their 80s popularity at all. They sound very, very fresh. These guys sound like seasoned pros who know what's up. They've got great stories to tell. They've got great perspectives. Lyrically, the songs are catchy. These guys are pop masters. And I thought Tears for Fears in the 80s were okay. I liked, Shout and Everybody Wants to Rule the World or whatever. But this one is, I could have got their CD and showed you songs from the big chair. I didn't grab that. But wow, I was really surprised by how much I liked this. And I did see them in concert, so I shouldn't have been surprised because I really liked them in concert. I saw them back in, I think, 2017 at the Scott Trade Center when they opened for Daryl Hall and John Oates, who were very disappointing. They changed their songs around, which if you're the Grateful Dead or Bob Dylan, great, do that. If you're Daryl Hall and John Oates, you've got radio hits. Don't change those. People want to hear the hits. They don't want to hear a reggae version of Maneater. They want to hear Maneater. And they just kind of, the rest of the songs, they seem like they were just kind of half-ass running through them. Who cares? Let's get out of here. Back on the bus, next show. But Tears for Fears, man, it seems like not only myself, but the people around me in the audience, it seemed like they won everybody over. Their newer stuff, which I'm assuming is not on this album, their newer stuff at that time, just gelled really nicely with their older 80s hits. Even, like the Sowing the Seeds of Love and all that. But this was great. I mean, the opening track just really catches your attention. And like I said, then you start kind of getting, oh yeah, this is Tears for Fears. The ones more on side 2 are a little longer, a little more meandering, a little more, kind of expressive and kind of gets, I like the first side more where it's more immediate, I guess. But you just, wow, right away. Just, wow, Tears for Fears? But yeah, Tears for Fears, the tipping point's the album, and it's at number 4. At number 3, wasn't expecting this to be so high, but it is. First Aid Kit, they are from Stockholm. Got another band coming up from Stockholm in the top 2. But this is First Aid Kit, these 2 sisters from Stockholm, and their album called Palomino. And again, with the color vinyl here. And this is the white one. I think you can get green vinyl, but you have to get it from their fan club. And it takes like 2 months to get to you or something like that, it said. Nobody's got time for that. So yeah, this is Palomino from First Aid Kit. I love, love, love their harmonies. It's the harmonies that make it. The music is pretty mainstream. Some interesting stuff going on. The lyrics and the harmonies. And they're recorded crystal clear. And they just pop out of the speakers like they're right in the room with you. I love production like that. Where it's not all a wall of sound and mixed in and all that. I love when they pop right out of the speakers. And First Aid Kit definitely does. So I would suggest getting the vinyl of this. The streaming thing doesn't really do that as much. But yeah, I love this. They've got songs in here that, I wish they would expand their lyrical content a little bit besides just like love relationship type songs. I always think that that's a trapping of especially female artists. And I love when female artists broaden their lyrical landscape and sing about other things other than, oh my God, we're breaking up. Oh my God, I'm so in love. Oh wow, love is great. Love is awful. Sing about other things. White vinyl, another complaint. Can we go back to putting some text on record labels again? I took this out of the thing, just like this. I didn't flip anything, took it out of the inner sleeve, put it on the turntable, and listened to side 2 first, and was 3 songs in before I realized I was listening to side 2. Please get back to putting text on record labels so at least we know what side we're listening to. Why would you just have a picture? It's not a... Save the artwork for the cover and put the text back on the record labels, please. First Aid Kit, Palomino, coming in at number 3. At number 2, also from Stockholm, is an absolute blast of fun. The Viagra Boys, wasn't familiar with these guys at all either. Cave World is the album, again with the color vinyl. This one is red vinyl, which is appropriate. There's also green vinyl as well. Man, this is a fun album. And it's so satirical. I love it. Like I was saying earlier about some of these releases, really like the Sammy Hagar one, and the Wise Blood one, talking about stuff that's going on right now in the world. These guys, it's more social commentary, and it's hilarious and sad at the same damn time. I love this. That's why it's at number 2. I have listened to this 5 times. I can't get enough. I love the way it's one call out after another. Each song is basically a different character. You've got like the guy who sits in front of the computer and believes all the conspiracy theories. They are not afraid to be specific and go right for the drinking baby's blood. Yes, they go there. You've got the idiot, violent criminal who's just adult, but still at the same time dangerous. You've got the punk rock douchebag. Not that all punk rockers are douchebags, but the douchebag that's also a punk rocker, I guess I should say. He's in here. Every song is a different character. They're all people you probably know. probably work with, or they're in the neighborhood, or they go to the bar you go to, or whatever. You don't want them around. It's nice to hear somebody call them out song after song after song. This ends, though, with a real, like, oh, yeah, that's tragic. Just like all great satire does, like I said, hilarious and sad at the same time. Reminds me of something like the Mothers of Invention when they were on top of their game, before the later stuff, like the early Mothers of Invention, which I love that we're only in it for the money and Freak Out. Those albums are great. Reminds me of that but for today's culture, So again, Viagra Boys, kind of I don't know about that name, but Cave World is the name of the album. I love it. I mean, I know some people have different opinions on this, but I love it enough to put it at number 2, which leads us to number 1. Jack White and his new album, Fear of the Dawn. Here's the older Jack White. I don't have this one yet because I'm waiting for that Midnight Blue vinyl. Got to special order it. Got to have the Midnight Blue. Jack White, Fear of the Dawn. This, again, just comes blasting out of the speakers. I've always liked Jack White. Again, I'm not sure where he is on the cool spectrum. I don't think some people, you're not supposed to like him anymore or something. I don't know what he did or what, if he just got old or whatever. But I've always loved his voice. I love his appreciation for vinyl records. He was way early on that. The Third Man record in records in Nashville and everything he does with that. I love this one too. This Lazaretto, with the trick vinyl, where you play it from the inside out, and you can play the one song and it's different versions depending on where the needle goes, and then the song that's hidden on the label that you play out. There's another record he has that I have that's the liquid inside the vinyl. There's no trick version of Fear of the Dawn, though. I guess they're all just either, the black vinyl or the color vinyl. And so I thought he was going to put out some other experimental vinyl thing. I love when he does that, but it's a great album anyway. I love the cranked up fuzz kind of electronic guitar. I guess all electric guitars sound electronic, but anyway, his particular sound of that, I guess, and the drums and all of it. I was always much bigger fan of Jack White's solo than what I had heard of the White Stripes, although they're pretty cool too, but I was really looking forward to Jack White's solo. It was the only album I heard in 2022 that didn't come off of, that I wasn't listening to strictly because of this list. So, number 1, definitely, Jack White, Fear of the Dawn. Again, waiting to get the new Midnight Blue color vinyl of that. Put this thing on, and it's like, I don't even know if I should tell you this or not, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you anyway. It's like rock out with your cock out. And I said that to myself. I'm like, damn, rock out with your cock out, man. Wow, this cranks. And then I thought to myself, I wonder if anybody's ever actually done that. And so I did it. I listened to this album and literally rocked out with my cock out. And I can only say that, I think, twice on YouTube before they start, like pinging me or whatever and then bringing down my reach. So I have to censor it from now on. But I would definitely suggest you do that, because I did that with the Jack White. And then I turned around, since I already had the Montrose out, and I listened to the whole Montrose with my cock out. And it really felt good. It felt appropriate. There's a reason that's a saying. I thought it was just like a rhyming thing, but I think people really do that. At least I did. And for the new year, I would suggest doing that. I'd just give it a try. It's a really fun experience, and it really goes well with, stuff like Montrose. You could do it to, of course, Van Halen or AC/DC or Quiet Riot or something like that, Def Leppard even, or, you don't want to do it to, like, Neil Young or Leonard Cohen or, Joni Mitchell or something, but try literally rocking out with your cock out. It's awesome. It was a really fun time. And of course, you don't want to be a freak. You want to do it. You don't want to drive and do that. You don't want to, do that with, you got to close the curtains and make sure the shades are down. You're alone in your house or whatever. You got kids. You obviously want to make sure the kids are at school or at a friend's house or something. But for the new year, give that a try and see what you think of that. Literally, rock out with your cock out. I did it for an entire 2 albums, and I had it was great. Whether you want to take your balls out or not, that's up to you. I'm not saying you have to be completely naked or anything. Just, rock out with your cock out. Give it a shot. What do you got to lose? What's the harm? What's the harm? And there you have it, my top 22 of your favorites ranked that you answered on my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, but you'd like to, this is the address. It's Robert Fithen Vinyl. There's a Robert Fithen on there, but that's an old one that I had, and I don't use that. It's only got like 3 pictures of nothing on there, and you don't want to follow that one. You want to follow Robert Fithen Vinyl. I actually, one thing I've been doing lately is giving like extended reviews of albums. like full-on reviews of a lot of the albums I'm currently listening to, which are, of course, a lot of old albums that I've been cleaning with my Ultrasonic. So check that out. And thanks again for watching. I know this is kind of a longer video, but it is 22 albums being ranked here. So thanks for staying with me all the way. Seriously, consider rocking out with your cock out. I wasn't joking about that. And again, thanks to everybody that answered my Instagram question about your favorite album of 2022. In 2023, I'm definitely making it a resolution to check out more new music as it comes out. And hopefully this time next year, I can just make my top 23 and it'll be all my choices and I'll have hundreds of albums to choose from. So once again, thanks for the great year of vinyl community videos that everybody's been doing. Another resolution, I got to start commenting more because I watch them on my TV. You can't comment on the TV, so then I just watch the next one and I forget to comment and like and all that. So I'll try to do better at that. Thank you for your comments and your likes and your views throughout 2022, and I will see you again in 2023. Cocks out for Montrose.